Okay, so first of all, guys, welcome to the first day of Cloud Performance Engineering in DevOps and SRE course. So in the last 2 days, most of you have gone over these demos, right? We have one of the demos on Cloud Performance Engineering in DevOps. We went over what all we're going to cover, right, as part of this course, and what additionally we're going to cover as part of this course, right? I hope you would have made the decision and you would have understood the value what this course brings to you, right, professionally on the career wise, right? Any questions on this part before I get started with day one agenda? So day one agenda is to start with cloud. Okay, I don't so we're going to start with this cloud, that this is going to be the common topic, I know. So how to go by things, right? So the process, the follow. So the way we do that, we first talk about cloud. Okay, that's the first thing, and we take up AWS. But it doesn't mean that we'll only talk about AWS. I am comfortable with Azure and GCP as well. I teach AWS, but I work in Azure and GCP, so you can understand the how much I'll be comfortable with. So yes, so we can talk about any of the cloud service provider. It doesn't matter. Okay, if you know one, you can easily pick other cloud service providers. That's how I see things, and that's how you should also. I'll make sure that you also see things. It's all about knowing things, how it works, and the use case. So in the cloud, we need to identify the use case: compute, storage service, right? IAM, where do you create users? So we'll talk about that slowly. We'll work on that, your skill set. So first thing that we'll talk about is the cloud. So we'll talk about a lot of things. I'm not going to go in detail. Second thing, which I'll be asking you along with this this particular course which I'm going through, my team would be sharing the self-scripting recorded session. Okay, so that's very much important for you to go over these self-scripting recorded sessions. This is my recorded session, so I have made sure it is very simple to understand. As I told you in one of the sessions, right, I can teach this to 12th standard guy. So yeah, so it doesn't require any prerequisites. It's simple, right? Just an operating system and easy to understand, so easy to follow, right? So my team would be sharing this recorded session. So I would highly encourage you to pay attention on the cloud part, as well as pay as much same attention on this self-scripting part, Linux part, because this is one of the very important topics. I cannot stress enough on this, how important self-scripting is, Linux command, because you're gonna work on Linux operating system. It's very you're mostly like 80% of the time, apart from owning a Windows laptop, as most of your users prefer, you're gonna not use a Windows operating system. It's always Linux console. So you need to be comfortable. So we'll share that. Once we are done with the cloud part, we'll talk about microservices. So that is the next topic. We'll talk about architectures. What is microservice? What is monolithic? How microservices are different than monolithic? What value it brings to the table, right? Microservice architectures. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about containers after that, because containers, that's where the microservices are deployed, right? That is where the your basically application runs. Containers. Again, when we talk about containers, we need to understand which helps to create containers. Who creates container? Who deploys your microservices? We need to talk about that. So we'll talk about that the container engine, like Docker, helps us to create and deploy containers. So it's not about just the containers. When you have a lot of containers, you need to orchestrate them. When I say you need to orchestrate them, in the production, you want automatic scaling. You want fault tolerance. So that's when this Kubernetes comes into picture. We'll start with microservices. We'll understand where do we deploy microservices, basically on the containers. And when we have many containers, how do you orchestrate them? Using Kubernetes. And very important, HPA, horizontal pod autoscaler, because in production, you don't want to sit in front of the system and see, oh, so load is increasing, let's increase one more pod container. We don't do this, right? Automatically, it should be taken care. And we should be worried about when we get some alert. We need to set up production alerts in production, on some metric, and if something goes wrong, we get alerted, and then we can write, as part of process, we can write some standard operating procedures, what needs to be done, and we will look into that troubleshooting part, what the issue, will check in the logs, all those things will happen in production. But things needs to be taken care automatically, the auto scaling part. So we'll talk about that in the container. On the VM level as well, the auto scaling needs to happen, right? And that will cover in the VM part as well. That's very important, auto scaling, right? So we are covering as part of this what load balancing and auto scaling works at VM level. So at the VM level also, load balancing, auto scaling should happen. At the container level, it should happen at the both level, because if you don't have a node, if you don't have a VM, where the container would get created? That's the bottom line, right? So you basically need the containers. You basically need the nodes to create containers. That's very important. Without that, it's not going to work, right? You need both. You need nodes first, and then you need containers. That's very important, right? So we'll talk about that. Load balancing and auto scaling group. And we have other AWS services. We'll talk about Lambda and RDS, relational database services. How do you make sure your RDS is highly available? What is read replica? We'll talk about all those things, right? After that, we'll dive into automation part, Jenkins, right? Uh, Continuous performance testing in DevOps, how performance engineering fits in DevOps, right? That's very important to understand that. And meanwhile, my team would be sharing Java programs with you, right? And or Python if you have enrolled for the SRE course as well. So both, and you can go over the programming aspect, because in the interview, when you go for the interview, one of the rounds that they ask is the programming. I'll tell you, they will not ask the high level very complex programming, not of data structures, big O notation, efficient coding. They would not check on those things. They would just make sure that you have a mindset of a programmer. You can automate things. They would check that. So we can just talk about 50 or top 50 interview questions in the programming language. You can just write them, right? I'll talk about that in the automation part as well. Automatic mundane task using shell scripting and Python, right? We have CI/CD pipeline. We'll talk about these things. And then on the uh, uh, automation part, we have Terraform and Ansible as well. Apart from CI/CD pipeline, we'll talk about that, right? So this is what the course flow would go, guys. And for the SRE, those who have enrolled to the SRE course, definitely. And obviously, for even the Cloud PE course, I don't see much of a difference, right? But we'll talk about observability, very important, because if you don't monitor, how would you know what's happening in production? You need to monitor things first, right? How about at both host level, process level, CPU, memory, disk, at the everything, right? So at the application response time, throughput, all the utilizations, everything, right? Number of threads, how GC is happening, right? GC throughput, everything basically you need to capture. Then only you can look into all the metrics and conclude, okay, something is wrong. Okay, no, this looks right, now that is wrong. Take look into these logs. This looks fine. Okay, then talk about this log. Okay, no, this is the problem statement. If you have some doubt, you talk to the developer. That's how you figure out, right? That's the general trend, that we troubleshoot any performance issues, right? And we'll be, as promised, right? I'll be sharing recorded sessions of the Java performance engineering as well to both the folks, right? Cloud P and SRE course, right? We have recorded sessions as well. So this will help you in Java performance engineering, heap dump, thread dump, GC log analysis, JVM architectures, how memory management works in JVM. So all these details you'll be getting here. Okay. So this is how the course flow. Okay, guys. Any question on this, guys? Anyone? Anyone has any question on the course flow? This is the right time, because if not, I'm going to deep.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hi, you heard me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Christian. Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
We will have the documentation from the course, the notes, notice.
You mean some documentations, right? Yes, we do provide that.
Yes, the course is the notice.
Yeah, I understand. So if you're talking about, so we'll be sharing all these PPTs with you. So
Oh, okay. Oh, it is a lot. Okay, thanks.
Right. So if you look at this, so I'll be creating a separate Google Drive for each of the batches. What I do,
Okay.
I create some sort of a drive, and I only give permissions to those who get enrolled, right? So lot of stuff is there basically, like lot of PPTs to go over something to which can help you on the certifications, AWS certifications, right? On the SRE part, performance engineering part, right? A lot of things, performance engineering. Look at this. If you look at the it's all about my 15 years of experience I'll be sharing, and you'll be just in quick time you will be able to leverage these things and for better understanding. So all these things, if you look at performance engineering or SRE part, right, everything, PPTs, right, all those things, eliminating toil, what is SRE, some documentations on how do you configure Prometheus, Grafana, everything, right? So a lot many things, right? And it's a development process. I keep making progress. I keep updating everyone. So Ansible, Terraform, and everything. Okay. So yeah. I hope you got that right.
Hi, Roshan, it's Aditya.
Yeah. Go ahead, Aditya. Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to know, like, are we covering the interview questions, like, in between, to prepare us for interview for SRE?
Yes, see, we can do that. When I'm talking about any particular things, everything is interview based. But if you are looking for a standard 500 questions, yeah, we can do that, right? So we can keep noting
Yeah.
up. So with every topic, I
Mhm.
give you perspective, right? What you can expect.
Yeah, right.
So we can do that. With every topic, we can
Yeah.
make it a habit of asking or going over these questions. So what we can do? We can come up with some sort of, let's say, interview, right? Let's say we can create some interview, and what we can do, uh, we can
Hmm.
make a note, or I'll make a note, or we can prepare this together, right? As and when we'll be
Yeah.
going over each of these modules, we'll take so on
Hmm.
the cloud part. So someone can just, I can write some Google Docs, so create and share. I can do that. So cloud part, what can be so real. So I don't want to use just Google it out. I'm gonna share my things which I use. I would mostly ask with the interviewer, like as if I'm yeah, if the interviewer, I would ask, right? Basic questions.
Correct.
I test with
Correct.
basic questions. I don't ask complex questions. I would the first thing on the cloud. Let's say you guys are working in the cloud, right? I would ask you simple question. Can you please
Hmm.
help me understand what is your understanding of infrastructure service, platform as service, software service? If someone can help me, second question would be what is NAT gateway? What is the use of NAT gateway? Right? If anyone can answer me these two questions, right? What is public and private subnet? Okay, so very, I don't know how many of you can answer that, but if you can answer this, means you know a bit of cloud. If you are not sure, you need to learn, right? So definitely these kind of things, all the topics that I'm covering, right? You can relate
Hmm.
interview. That's how I see things. But everything I'm gonna, the approach that we have taken is interview based. Basically, we have taken the interview based approach. That's how I have taken this approach of each of the modules, right? So yeah, that's how we'll be making it cloud and
Yeah.
talk about Kubernetes.
Roshan,
Yeah.
one more request. Yeah, just I have seen that previous recording.
Mhm.
So, like after the recording, can we rename it to the particular topic related so
I
that it
have
will
done
be
that.
beneficial for us for
Okay, if you have looked into, right? So I'm not sure why you mentioned this, but I'm going to share you the last recording which we have shared with everyone. Okay, and we have done that. We are look at this. SRE cloud AWS regions HADR. I am MFA billing AWS CIDR because
Okay, okay.
with I am doing that with every topic EFS EBS EFS introduction, right? Topics revision S3. So look at this every with
Yeah, actually, I might be seeing another
right.
list.
This is the last
Yeah,
one that I have done it. We are doing it right. So yes.
yeah.
Anything else, guys, before we dive into our day one agenda?
Yeah, Roshan, it's a Monday to Friday, right? The daily
So Friday,
session will be
Friday, I want to take. I would like everyone to take off Monday to Thursday. Usually, people do, right? That is what.
okay.
This also timing. So Monday to Thursday, please mute yourself. I think echo is coming. So if you see 9 p.m. to 10, 15 p.m. is what I prefer, Monday to Thursday. Okay. And I was preferring if we have some doubt clearing session. Mostly on the weekend, I am free in the morning time. I get up in the morning and we can take up sessions like this. Or if we want if everyone is available, we'll take up something in the week. But this is optional, okay? But I'm going to check with my participants, those who are getting enrolled. But Monday to Thursday is going to be our primary 1 hour efficient
Okay.
level. Yeah. That is what I have planned. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. I'm going to give another 1 minute for anyone to ask any question. If not, I'm going to dive into day one agenda, guys.
So we will have a project in cloud, in Kubernetes, or something like that.
daily basis, it's a hands-on. On daily basis, it's a project day. Something or the other, you're supposed to be working. It's a project based. The way you need to work in the companies, the hands-on, real knowledge, the real hands-on, what is being used, what is being expected, only relevant knowledge, in the simplified way possible. That's how we will go, Christian.
Okay.
Okay, I think we are done. No one has any question, guys. Good. So the first thing, right? What is the first thing? So I would like some of you. Can any one of you help me understand what do you understand by cloud? When I say the word cloud, what do you understand? And how it is different than on-premise? Basic questions that I usually ask. Let's say if any fresher 3 year 4 year guy and who's claiming that he knows cloud, right? People have done certifications and all. I ask this very question to, especially for the people who have done the certification, just to check whether they have just understand or they have. So that's the first thing, guys. I'm going to ask with you, any one of you, please help me understand what is cloud as per you, and how different, what is cloud and how different it is, how different it is when compared to on-premise. Come on. Any one of you, feel free to unmute yourself, and I would like to hear. What is cloud? How it is different when compared to on-premise? Because we are coming from on-premise, we need to understand what do we mean by on-premise first, and then how different it is.
My understanding is,
Yeah, please go ahead, Parma. Go ahead. Yeah.
as per my understanding, cloud is like storage. It's not like a hard drive somewhere else in the remotely, some internet servers or somewhere. Yeah, so it's like a storage.
And how about
container.
on-premise? How about on-premise? How it is different than cloud?
Your question is not clear. Why?
My voice is not clear. Guys, if I'm audible or Padma is breaking up, please confirm.
Padma is breaking. You're audible, Roshan.
Yeah. So yes, thank you. So okay, as Srinivas has answered, place where different kinds of services are available or to develop based on requirement with different kind of subscriptions. And is it not the same case with on-premise, Srinivas? Okay, guys, I'll come to the point now. Okay, so on-premise and cloud, basically, technically, if you see, there is no difference. Technically, there is no difference.
And I guess it's just the difference between public and private, right? On-premise becomes very private, and
yeah, I'm coming to that. Okay, so technically, there is no difference. Okay, end of the day, either we are using cloud or we use on-premise, we are using servers. And where servers are deployed? It is deployed on data centers. What do we understand of a data center? Look at this. Imagine, I would like you to imagine an outskirt of the city, big infrastructure in acres of land, multiple acres of land, a multi-story building infrastructure with big rooms, all the rooms filled off. So in the outskirt of the city, somewhere, big infrastructure, right, in multiple acres of land. And I would like you to imagine multi-story building and all the big halls full of these kind of servers. This is where servers are located. Either you're on-premise or cloud, doesn't matter. Your servers are located here, data centers. Now the point is whether you own it or you don't own it. If you work in a company who owns a data center, you call on-premise. When you work with a company who doesn't own a data center but uses someone else's data center, like AWS data center, Azure data center, or GCP data center, we basically call cloud. So end of the day, technically, there is no difference. It's the same data center, the way it's configured the same. It's we have to invest a lot of dollars, billions of dollars to set up this kind of infrastructure. That's why not everyone can afford to set up a data center. It's a very costly affair. You can see that. You have to acquire land, purchase land in the outskirts of the city. You have to construct infrastructure, multi-story building, purchase all the purchase all the hardwares. These servers would generate so much of heat. You need to maintain temperature. For that, cooling mechanism. These data centers cannot lose the power. So multiple power backups. These data centers always need to be connected to the internet, to multiple internet service providers. So a huge investment. What I'm coming to is a huge investment needs to be made to set up your data center. So what is on-premise? So nothing. Data center, if you own it, that becomes on-premise. If you don't own it, if you use it for rent, so let's say AWS, Azure, and GCP, they are the big players, Oracle, IBM, the big players in the public cloud service provider domain. So they have invested a huge amount of money across the globe, and they have multiple data centers across the regions. And what I do, because I cannot afford to set up a data center, obviously it requires billions of dollars, but I have business idea. I want to run my application, my business. So I approached AWS, Azure, GCP, and I asked, boss, can I use few of your servers? I would like to use 100 of your servers, few of your storage services, database services. I would like to use this. They have opened this business. They are perfectly fine if you want to use them. They're perfectly fine with that. But instead, they will tell you, okay, you don't own it. You pay. You take it as a rent. No, basically, you ask for the rent. You don't own anything. You will pay for the monthly subscription. Whatever the resource, the compute, the storage that you are going to use, they're going to charge you monthly as like a bill. That's all. So it's easy, right? I may not have $1 billion, but I may have $10,000. Most of us, right? We can afford. If you have a business, if you have a company in mind, some business idea, we can spend $10,000 a month. $1 billion seems a lot. Yes. So that's the difference between on-premise and cloud. That's the simplest difference. And when we say that, do you know cloud? What do we mean? That do you know how to provision servers? Do you know how to use management console? All the cloud service providers, Azure, AWS, GCP, they have given this beautiful on-demand self-service, because you don't need to call them, that you don't need to call AWS call center, boss, I need 10 servers. They would give you something, nothing like that. They have given this beautiful console, on-demand self-service console they have given you. They tell you, okay, Mr. Roshan, do one thing, go to my AWS page, create one account, and start using your service. You start using, if you need servers, get it. If you need storage, get it. If you need this, get it. We will charge you monthly bill, and you're supposed to pay. And if you don't pay, we'll disconnect all the servers. We'll dismantle all your servers. That's how it is. They have given this beautiful console. Please help me. This is not letting me log in. Just give me 1 second, okay? HRT37, I hope that I'm right. No. 24C or 2Y. Okay, this time. Perfect. So this is what they call self-service. They have given this beautiful console. I would like everyone to create the account. I'll guide you through the process. Don't worry about it. Everyone who's expected to create this account if you don't have one. So they have given this beautiful console. So when we say, do you know cloud? What do we exactly mean? Do you know how to provision servers? Do you know how to provision storage? Do you know how to provision databases? Do you know how to provision this service, that service? That's what we will talk about. That's what we mean by when we say that, do we know cloud? That's what we mean. Guys, are we clear with this? What is, so my question was, okay, so I'll come to the back to the circle back to the question. What is cloud? How it is different on-premise? Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Everyone, please acknowledge. Now, if someone tells you this definition, right? If someone answers me this, oh, okay, I understand. This person knows it. Okay. If you give big definition, I would understand. Okay, understood. So that's how, right? That's how we need to make things simple. It is simple. That's how the definition is, right? So guys, first thing first, what I would like to do, I would like everyone to create this account. Okay. Even if, yeah, please create this account. Please go to, I would like everyone take away from this that you were able to create this AWS account. What I would like you, Google it, AWS free tier account. If you don't have one, free tier account, just Google it. I'm going to Google in the incognito window so that it let me do that. Google it, okay? AWS free tier account. Just click on any one of this free tier account, free tier, log into, click on this create a free account, guys. Follow along the process, very simple. Username, this will ask your username. If you need to have Gmail address, please enter your Gmail address. That will be your root user account. Give some account name, verify your email address. You can move on and you can complete. They will ask you for credit card details. Trust me, they would not misuse it. They are big companies. They may just ask you to check your credit card. They will deduct INR 2 rupees. INR 2 rupees. If you have international card, they may deduct $1, but they will give you back also. If they just want to verify whether you are a authentic user, genuine user, right? So please go ahead and complete this step. I'm going to give you 5.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Tell me.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead, Christy.
Where I can go in VC 3 year free?
Yeah, free. Yeah.
I can find it on the page.
What is this? Okay, just type Google free tier account. Just click on Google free tier account, AWS free tier account. That's what you're supposed to type. Just supposed to type free tier account, guys. Nothing else. Just type this AWS free tier account. You would be getting this first link. Go to aws.amazon.com free. Copy the link and
can you send me the link, please? Because I
go to this link and complete the process. Okay, click on create a free account. 1 year,
yes.
Okay. You would not be charged for 1 year. It's free. Create a free account. Click on this. Sign up. Sign up. I would like everyone to log in. This will be the first achievement if you don't have an account. Please log in like this, the way I have logged in. I would like you to get excited as I am right now. We have the AWS account ready to learn. I'm going to give you 5 minutes.
So we can go into root user and next, no?
Process. What this about? Complete the process, normal process, right? Give your account detail, verify email address, next page. Follow along, right? Not a big deal.
I just have an email. I just have an account in the AWS, and I have open a page which is right root to user and ERM user.
Okay, so login as a root user, right? I'll tell you about
Okay.
IAM user. Login as a user. I'll tell you about IAM. So IAM is a service. I'll talk about it. That's called identity and access management. I'll talk about it. So login as the root user.
Roshan, so there are two users, right? Root user and IAM user.
Yeah, use root user. The email address which you have used is the root user. Login as the root user. Okay, how many of you are able to get the account, guys? We'll give another 2 minutes and we'll something. Able to create? So first of all, are you creating or not? Yeah, please confirm in the
No.
Okay, Aditya is creating. How about others? Please confirm in the chat. How many of you creating? Do I need to wait or I need to proceed? Okay. Christy, it's a simple process. If you just follow along, you would not get any error. It's a very simple process. So what is that error, Christy, you're getting?
It's right on AWS account with that singing information does not exist. Try again or create a new account.
Create a new account. Get a different Gmail address. Right? Now, what's the problem? Get a different email address. quickly, right?
Okay.
If your account is already created and let's say you've already exhausted or you have paid any bill, what they would do, they would suspend your account and then you'll not be able to log in. Perfect, Himanshu. So congratulations, Himanshu, to create this account. Good, feeling good, Himanshu?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Others, please complete it. Let's not take a. I already have an account and perfect. Good. Created and logged in. Perfect. Good to know, Yuvraj. Then awesome. Perfect. Perfect, Prashant. Good. You were able to create the account right now. That's a good thing. And some of you were already having the account. That's also good. And see, guys, I'm going to just take another 1 minute. I would like to discuss something. So take 1 more minute and you can do it later if you want, okay? Good. Please focus. Leave. Whatever you are doing, guys, please focus. Let's focus. Let's talk about something important. So we have understood. Please, guys, go on mute. Okay. I would like everyone to mute. Please, will maintain a decorum in the session. If you are not talking, please mute yourself. If not, I can do it. Don't let me do that, guys. I have the control. So yeah, thank you. Okay. So what we have done, we have understood why are we learning cloud? What is the buzz around? Why people are talking about AWS certified or Azure certified, GCP certified? End of the day, they want to know, can you use these services? And then what do we mean, right? The expectation is that can you use these services? They have AWS has right now 200 plus services. So you don't need to learn all 200 of them. Don't worry. So basically, when you say do you have certified? So basically, certifications gives you one kind of credibility that yes, you are good to, you can use AWS account, you can use AWS and create some resources there, infrastructure, so that you can deploy some application. Amazon.com, Flipkart.com, Walmart.com, right? So many applications, Google. So perfect, good to know. Good to know. Okay, so we have so many applications, so they are running somewhere, right? So you are gonna build the next Amazon.com, Flipkart.com, right? So how will you use it? How will you create such an application? How will you deploy such an application? So you need resources. You need what all you things you need. Let's say I want to create some Flipkart.com. I have one business idea, whatever, let's say. Whatever, some abccard.com, new idea, something, some application. So what all I need? Definitely I would require some servers, because this is where my application server, database server would run, or microservices would run. This is where my actual application would be deployed. So I need some servers, definitely. Obviously the servers would require operating system. I would definitely need disk. Definitely, I need storage, disk. If you are building Netflix kind of application where you're putting a lot of content, right? So you need some sort of more storage. We call it object storage, right? So basically, you need a lot of these things. You need database services. If you are going to, let's say, if you want to build a company and you're going to recruit people, and you need to give your employees some username credentials, the way they log into their AWS account. So you need some way to create users so that they can log in. So you need these kind of services. Yes, then you would require Obviously, these are the basic stuff, right? Any cloud or on-premise, whatever. Let's not talk about cloud. Let's set up this in on-premise. End of the day, you know that it's same. Doesn't matter. On-premise, cloud, it's not a big thing for me now, right? For all of us, it's not a big thing now. Forget about those people that are talking about I'm working in cloud. End of the day, it's same infrastructure. What's big thing? Nothing. So either you're on-premise or cloud, you need these resources to deploy your application. Yes. So basically, these resources are used by some services. We need to basically know some services that we need to use here. So for example, when AWS was launched, okay, just brief history. When AWS was launched back in 2007, okay, how it was launched? So a guy called Jeff Bezos, I hope most of you know about the guy, the owner of Amazon.com. He was trying to set up an infrastructure for this website. I hope you're aware of this website, guys. Most of you must have done some shopping. So this guy, Jeff Bezos, he was trying to set up infrastructure for this website. So basically, he was trying to set up infrastructure, servers, the same thing that we're talking about, right? Servers, disks, storage, right? All those things, databases, storage, databases, right? User, all those things. We'll talk about all those things. So he was trying to set up one data center. Eventually, this guy realized in the process of setting up Amazon.com infrastructure, the guy realized that we can leverage this to the entire world. The way they had the guy developed, the guy leveraged the servers, the guy built the infrastructure, the data center, the business idea came. The business idea of AWS, that the same infrastructure, others can also use it for their own business. Wow. Right? So powerful idea gave rise to what happened after that? AWS was launched. When AWS was launched back in 2007, they were just three services, EC2, S3, and SQS. So I just talked about 200 plus services. I'm going to show you where these 200 services, where these three services are in these 200 plus services, right? I'm going to just show you. So when it comes to EC2, right, I talked about servers. So how will I provision servers? The service name is called EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Just the AWS way of naming things, okay? Nothing fancy about it. Elastic Compute Cloud, just a VM. You will just get a VM there. Just a service name, EC2. Right? Where is EC2, guys? Can you guys see this EC2 somewhere? I can see that. I hope most of you can see this. Yes. EC2. Yeah. You can see that, guys. EC2. Look at this. Yes, EC2. This is what EC2 is. Then S3. S3 basically stands for Simple Storage Service. Simple Storage Service. Amazon.com has a lot of web pages. So where to, a lot of images in that web page, right? So where to deploy, where to host those web pages. So it is in the S3. S3 is just a service name. Okay, and then there is something called SQS, Simple Queue Service. So these three services they launched with back in 2007. Just three services. And today they have 200 plus, and they have competitors from Azure, GCP. All are doing great. All are provisioning infrastructure, and that's how things are going. So when you say that I want to learn cloud, basically you want to know how to use EC2, how to use S3, how to use other services, new services that are coming up, right? VPC is for the networking. So we'll talk about a lot of services are there. Slowly, steadily, we'll go by learning these services, right? Look at this. So if I show you EC2, if you go to compute, so see, same thing, right? EC2 that I'm calling it in AWS. Same thing. GCP calls it compute engine. Compute. Same stuff. Azure calls it VM, virtual machine. Same thing. The look and feel would be different. This is GCP I'm showing you, right? If I have to show you in GCP, I can show things in GCP as well. So look at this. How this is how a UI would look of a GCP. You would the look and feel would change, right? Obviously, different company, different idea, different people, right? So I can select some project here, right? And I can just go to hamburger symbol here, and I can go to compute engine. Right? We have compute engine, and I can create some servers. VM instance. So same thing, EC2, same as compute engine in GCP. If I show you Azure virtual machine, that's how things are, right? It's either you use AWS, Azure, GCP, doesn't matter. Use case does not matter. Even in on-premise, use case does not matter. You have everything in on-premise as well. Servers, yes. Only thing that you have to purchase it. Here I'm not purchasing it. I'm asking AWS for rent. Boss, can I use it for 1 month? I'll pay you this much. Let me use it. That's how things are in cloud, right? As long as I'm paying, they're happy. They will not suspend, they will not disconnect my servers. They're happy for if we using it because they're making money out of it. That's their business. So that's about cloud, guys. So that's the introduction I wanted to start with, kick off our journey of cloud. We're going to talk about a lot of things, guys. Okay. That's all from my side for today. I hope you learned something today, guys. Yes. Something meaningful which you can use in your career. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Roshan.
Perfect. Great, guys. So that's how our journey starts, guys. We'll meet. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, right?
On Monday.
Yeah, we'll meet on Monday. Friday, I don't. I just like to take a rest. Right. Friday, I feel like I don't. Yeah. So let's meet on Monday. Okay. We will meet on Monday, and and we'll talk about things. Right. We'll talk about different things in cloud. We have just started. We'll talk about these things. We have a lot of things to cover, guys. Slowly, steadily, we'll make the foundation. It's from very basic, so need not worry. Guys, that's all for today from my side, guys. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Any questions before we wrap up? Good. Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet on Monday. Thank you.